I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Council in the Township of Montclair. Notice of this meeting has been provided to the Montclair Times, the Herald News, and the Star Ledger. Notice has also been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Jackson,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Spiller,
Present.
Councilor at Large McMahon,
Here.
Councilor at Large Russo,
Present.
Councilor Hurlock,
Present.
Councilor Slager isn't here at the present time, or Councilor Baskerville, but they're both expected, I understand. Oh, all right.
Okay. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll come back to the public comment. There have been presented to us the minutes of January 8th, 2019. Are there any corrections or additions? I will move them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next order of business is a proclamation honoring Dr. Michael LaQuaglia, and I'm going to come downstairs. I believe First Ward resident, you're going to read it, Mr.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Hurlock.
Thank you.
Will come up.
That's the, I knew that was. I thought that was a document.
Come up too. It's a team.
It's a great doctor, this guy.
Absolutely. The Sunday before Christmas, I was reading the Star Ledger, and I noticed this front page story about two thankful parents, surgeons, and angel. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I'm going to come back and read it. And then I was going through the paper. Not only was it just one page, it was 3 huge pages about the accomplishments of this unbelievable man. And as I was going through it and reading it, a couple of emotions went through my head. One was awe, because of the amount of work, Doctor, that you have done with young people, saving lives, and doing it with such skill. For those of you who may not know, Dr. LaQuaglia is that it was, I think you just recently left, as being the chief of surgery at Sloan Kettering for pediatric surgery. And the story really dealt with the number of children he saved, and the reaction of the parents to him, and not only what he does, but the way he does it, and how just impressed and moved they were by not only what you do, but how you do it. And in this article, they referred to him as, as an angel, coming in on the white, the white knight coming in and solving problems, and just one great adjective after another. So I was in awe, number one. Secondly, was pride, because I felt very proud to be a resident of Montclair and to have someone of your stature living in Montclair. I felt incredible amount of pride to say I happen to live in the same town as this gentleman. It was incredible to me. The third thing was that I couldn't believe that someone who had accomplished so much was actually so understated, so selfless, so unassuming, even self-deprecating. And I felt weird that, and I guess my other emotion that came into my mind was really a little bit of shame, because I felt like I should know you or know of you, because what's written here is really superhuman achievement. And as a man of faith, I know how important that is to you and what that has meant, and what you've accomplished, what you've accomplished. But if those of you who have not read this story, I really, really commend it to you. This is an incredible man with an incredible wife and family. And I understand you're a terrible dancer, but we'll just let that go. But if you just read this and the lives that he's touched over the years, it's just, to me, just a remarkable story. And wanted to thank you and just express to you as your local elected officials how proud we are to have you as a resident of our town. So, Councilor Hurlock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a proclamation here that has been signed by the entire council and the mayor, and I'm going to go ahead and present that to you now. Dr. Michael LaQuaglia, a pediatric surgeon at Sloan Kettering Hospital in New York City, recently announced that he was stepping back from certain duties to focus on research and monitoring the next generation of surgeons. And whereas, in his 31-year practice, you don't look that old, actually, good for you, Dr. LaQuaglia has completed over 12,000, that's impressive, life-saving operations, primarily on children with neuroblastoma, a rare cancer. In many cases, the surgeon has taken on young patients suffering from the most dangerous and complicated cancers who have come to him when all hope had been lost. Desperate parents from all over the United States and around the world have sought him out for his miracle hands and his calm and reassuring manner during the most stressful of times. And whereas Dr. LaQuaglia and his team have developed procedures that, combined with immunotherapy, chemotherapy, radiation, and neuroblastoma vaccine, have increased the survival rate for high-risk neuroblastoma patients. And whereas he has received accolades from the families of his many patients, including his youngest patients who are now thriving, and his colleagues, and has been recently honored by the Arms Wide Open Childhood Cancer Foundation and the Band of Parents, a parent-run nonprofit organization that has raised millions of dollars for pediatric cancer research and treatment. And whereas Dr. LaQuaglia, a humble man of deep faith, and his wife Joanne, a retired nurse, reside in Montclair, and are the parents of a daughter, Catherine, I'm assuming Catherine's out here, an assistant prosecutor in Morris County, and a son, Michael, a surgical resident in New York. Mike, okay, that's all right. Of course. This is a high-powered family, I just got to say, y'all. Be it resolved that we, the Township Council of Montclair, recognize the outstanding achievements of Dr. LaQuaglia and extends appreciations for his commitment and service from a very grateful community, signed by the entire Town Council. And may I present this to you this evening, Doctor? Thank you for everything that you've done.
I don't have prepared remarks. I want to thank my family, my wife, who's been the rock throughout all these years of me coming home at really odd hours. I want you to think of the kids and say a little prayer for them, okay? And the parents too. And I'd like to thank, I've loved living in Montclair for the last 31 years, 31 and a half years, and we intend to keep living in Montclair. Thanks so much.
We have one more thing, actually, to present.
And Doctor, I'd just like to say, I know it's pronounced LaQuaglia, right? The Italian way of pronouncing it, LaQuaglia, and it means quality. And you're a quality person. I want to thank you for all your efforts. And, you know, my wife's sister went to Sloan Kettering for many years. They did everything they could. They helped her 30 years ago. So I have that feeling for that great institution that you work for. Thank you so much for your efforts.
They were in the folder.
What happened? We have a folder here?
They had
Wait, in here. Here. Not in this folder? Keys. They're not in this folder.
They had been in the black folder when I went that way. They were circulating in that black folder.
Yeah, they were in the folder.
I feel something here. Bill, what's in the bottom of that? What's in the bottom of that? Rich, in that black bag?
No, they wouldn't have gotten there. They were.
In a folder?
Give them to the mayor.
This is the weirdest thing.
This is very strange.
As soon as our meeting is over, 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's happening too much. We'll open the meeting up now for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the council, we'll be happy to hear from you at this time. Thank you, sir.
Would you kindly sign in before or after you speak? Thank you. Thank you.
No, it is. Kathleen Bennett, 10 Glenwood Road, chairperson of HPC. I thought it was the opportune time tonight to introduce to the mayor and the council people the study that the HPC has recently funded with township money. And that study is study of the redevelopment zones and their potential impacts on identified historic properties. We will be having a discussion about this report at Thursday's meeting. I would like to invite the council and Mr. Mayor to come to that. Mary Krugman, a local HPC consultant, has written this report, and basically it is a synopsis of all the redevelopment plans that have happened in town over the past years. And I hope that we learn from this, especially considering tonight that the Haynes redevelopment is on your agenda. And I know that we look forward, the HPC, to reviewing that plan. When you finally get a plan, I hope that we can review it. And again, I think there'd be some interesting information in here. And I hope you can find the time to come on Thursday night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathleen, would you mind giving that information to the clerk, and then she can get it to the council? Thank
Bennett,
you.
is that at 7 PM or 7:30? What time is the meeting? 7? 7:30. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council?
Hi, I'm Jessica Freeman. I'm a resident of 20 Vleck Street. I wanted to just briefly address the council before the hearing of the ordinance that you're going to discuss about the four-way stop sign at Vleck and North Mountain. On behalf of the neighbors who couldn't be here, we want to thank the town, our town councilman, Robin Schlager, in the work of Steve Wood and the township manager on looking at the traffic study there. We want to appreciate and support the ordinance going through of the four-way stop. It's become a very treacherous intersection, and we think a four-way stop will certainly help keep our kids safe. The one thing that was missing from the suggestion that we saw online was single side of the street parking. We had asked for that to be looked at, and it doesn't look like in the ordinance that's being put forward that that's being addressed. So I'd ask for you to candidly look at the single side of the street parking. Currently, you are able to park on both sides. The neighbors would like to see parking only on the south side of the street, as that's where Van Vleck and the Van Vleck Gardens and also the apartments that are there, they seem to warrant the on-street parking more than the two residences, as the number of people at number 10 and number 20. Although we have lots of friends, we're not the primarily driver of the congestion on the street. In addition, it makes it very difficult for us to get in and out of our driveways as is. So we appreciate all the work that everyone's done. We hope that you favorably pass that and that you also look at the single side parking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Knapp, and I'm a resident at 75 North Mountain Avenue. And I just wanted to echo the support that Jessica gave, and we're here with a couple of other neighbors, and just reiterate the importance of that four-way stop. There have been several accidents there in the past few months, and it's, as you all know, a very busy intersection with lots of pedestrians, joggers, bicyclists, school buses, kids, etc., and a four-way stop would make the neighborhood considerably safer. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is June Regner. I live at 49 North Mountain Avenue, also right near that intersection. Also have a young child who goes across that intersection to catch the bus. It's a dangerous intersection. It's gotten to the point with the neighbors where we'll be talking about an accident, the most recent one, and it's actually not the one from 3 days ago, it's the one from this morning. It's an increasing problem, and it's very dangerous. The speeds that people go through, you guys a couple years ago put in the speed tables to slow down the traffic on North Mountain Avenue, and I think that was successful for a while, but it's no longer sufficient. So I would definitely support the single side parking, especially given the way that we have delivery trucks down at the bottom of Van Vleck, making that a very dangerous corner. We have high school kids who are turning onto Valley there, going to and from school. It's a dangerous spot. So I would like to reiterate my support for that, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ozzy O'Carr of 83 North Mountain Avenue. Also here to just reiterate my support for the four-way stop. It's a very dangerous intersection. We've been at that address since 2010, and it has increasingly become more and more dangerous. My kids are even accustomed to hearing the screeching of metal as accidents happen at that intersection. It's also a bus stop for many of the schools, and our kids take the bus at that intersection as well. I'm also here in support of the ones parking on the Van Vleck side, as that's the commercial side of the street. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address the council? Okay, I will close the public comment period. We did have a proclamation for Marcos Parada. That's not, we have it here, but, okay. Marcos is not here, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right, we'll receive Mr. Coyl from the Montclair Public Library.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council.
Good evening.
Mr. Stafford. Thank you for giving me a few moments to talk about the library's budget request for fiscal year 19. We presented this information to Mr. Stafford and Maja, but we wanted a chance to talk to the council directly about our request, as we don't get a lot of interaction with the council since we're not a direct township department, but our funding does come from tax dollars. And I think the important thing to highlight is that we often view ourselves as the center of the community. And we are one of the few institutions in town that anyone can go to, and without paying an admission or even having a library card, you can still come into the library. And so we try very hard to provide services for everybody. And nationwide, the average person, only about 21% of the people have a library card. And in Montclair, it's 81%. So,
Do
yeah.
you have a copy of the budget or something that we could look at while you?
Sure, I was going to do it afterwards.
You want to do it
Yes.
afterwards?
Would you prefer to have it now? I'd more than happy to give it to you now.
Sometimes for myself, I don't know
Sure.
about anybody else, it's better if I can look at what we're talking about and focus. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry to interrupt,
Nope, that's fine.
but, you know,
Whatever makes it easier for you.
strong supporter of the library. I just
Thank
want to
you.
make sure that I'm
Yeah.
receiving everything. Absolutely, absolutely.
So our request is outlined in the handout here, but we in addition to the funding that the township gives us, we always try and receive grants. And you can see on the second page that we received grants in 2018 to support library programs from the American Library Association. We were one of 50 libraries to receive a grant nationwide. In New Jersey, we were one of 10 libraries out of the over 200 plus municipal libraries. We received funding from local organizations, Partners for Health Foundation, Investors Bank, and the Montclair Foundation. And we're only 1 month into the year, not even a full month, and we've already received another grant from the American Library Association. We're one of 70 libraries nationwide to receive a grant for the Great Stories Club. So we are always trying to find additional funding. And as you know, we have the Montclair Public Library Foundation, which raises additional funds for the library. And over the years, as you can see on the third page, the funding for the library has decreased and then has gone back up, but we are still not yet at the same level as we were about 10 years ago. And the question we have, the council has to make, is how much of the extra money? We have a base allocation of $1/3 and that is a generous amount, but it's still not enough to run the library. So we appreciate the support the council has given to the library over the years of that additional township appropriation. So this year, our request is a total of $3.8 million, and that includes a little over $1 million in additional township funding, and an additional small allocation of $170,000 for some upgrades to our RFID, or radio frequency identification system. And as we talk about the value of the libraries and our stewardship of the public funds, the return on investment that the members of this community get from the library is pretty substantial. For every dollar we spend, they get back about $2.75 in value. So if you consider the amount that we're asking, which only works out to be about $97 per resident for the entire year, they get over $260 worth of value for their tax dollars. So I think the return on investment is pretty substantial. And what we plan to do with this money is to hopefully add more hours to the Bellevue Avenue branch. It's currently only open 30 hours a week, but we'd like to open it to be 50 hours a week. One of the concerns we receive from residents is that it's not open in the evening very much, only on 1 day a week. And this will allow us to be open in the evenings and have more weekend hours, which would be a benefit for everybody, including the school children that attend the schools in that area. We'd also like to add some staff member to do to fill a marketing position, someone that can handle all the publicity and promotion of the library's services and events. We don't have that currently, and then we're asking for some of this funding would go towards materials and services. As we are open more hours, we would need more materials and more services. We'd also like to leverage our technology more fully, and that comes into play with the RFID upgrades. And I'll talk a little bit more about those. So the first is the RFID upgrades, which is a number of years ago, about 5 or 6, the library tagged all of the items with a radio frequency ID chip. And so the items can be checked in and checked out more efficiently and in an automated fashion. But that was a 2-step plan, and the second part of that plan was the first part was to buy the return sorter, which would return the items and check them in, and the second component was a sorter, and that sorter wasn't purchased. And so we need the funding to purchase that sorter so we can realize the full benefit of that piece of equipment. And we've been investigating a number of components that we can get from different vendors, and if we acquire this, it will achieve an efficiency of 40%. So we'd be able to spend 40% more of staff time directly interfacing with customers and serving the public versus the handling of physical materials, which doesn't help the customer who's looking for something that's very administrative. We also would like to use some of the funding for salary increases. As you know, every year people need raises and we have to absorb that cost. Our funding last year was the same dollar amount over the year before, and so those funds have to come out of our general fund. And as you know, the governor has increased the minimum wage this year on January 1st, and then it will continue to go up middle of this year. So that funding has to come from somewhere. And our health insurance costs have continued to go up, an average cost of $450 for our employees. And I've included the breakout of the additional staff we're asking for to hire with this funding for the branch, a full-time children's librarian and a branch manager at the branch, and some part-time library assistants, and then a marketing and public relations person. And as you can see, we're assuming those positions would start in the second quarter. So it's not for the full year. It would take place after the budget's approved. And of course, we'd have to interview and hire those candidates. Programming and materials, we have to buy books, something the library always does, but as we embrace technology, something that is more common with library vendors is going the way of the per-click model for our streaming services. So rather than buying a subscription, we have to pay for every time someone clicks on an item. So if you download an audiobook, we might have to pay for that. And so as those costs go up, the popularity seems to follow. So our general request in summation there is shown. And I have some other figures on our expenditures and state aid funding. I will just point out that the state aid funding, it is an issue that is a state issue, but the amount that the legislature funds public libraries is not very much, and I'll let you look at the graph and ponder that. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have for me. And I think, Mr. Mayor, I told you 10 minutes, so I think I'm good.
Very good, Peter. Very good. Any questions for Mr. Coyl?
Peter, I just have something somebody asked me the other day, and you have to clarify. I should have talked to you privately about it. But these employees at the library, are they members of an employee union?
No, the employees at the library have not unionized.
How many employees do you have full-time?
We have 24 full-time employees, and we have a total of 55 employees, 33 part-time, and 24 full-time.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
So there's no contract that they have that you're...
No. And they've chosen not to, so, yeah.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
So, Mr. Coyl, looking at this, if I'm reading this correctly, when I look at your funding levels on page 3, so in 2012, which I think we all proudly will note, since we've come in, we've increased the funding every year since then. But am I reading this correctly? And again, I don't have the numbers in front of me from Mr. Stafford, but in the last 5-6 years, we've increased it by $400,000 in total, and next year you're looking for a $400,000 increase in the 1 year. Is that correct?
Yes, next year that is what we're asking for. I'm not sure what the total amount over the number of years are. I don't have those figures in front of me.
So why do you think the significant increase? Certainly since 2013, we can see it was over $3 million. So since 13 to 17, it's increased by about $400,000 in total in those 5 years. Why in this next year do we see such a big jump of another $400,000?
Well, I think part of the issue is that part of it is that last year the funding was the same dollar amount over the year before, so there was no increase last year. So we're trying to make up some of that. Plus the outlay of $170,000 for the RFID, that's a big chunk of that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Coyl? Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, pending ordinances. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. This pending ordinance has been published and posted according to law. This ordinance is approving an amendment to the Haynes redevelopment plan.
Mr. Mayor, before you open that up, as you and the body, I'm sure, is well aware,
This was an amendment that had come forward, which we then referred to the planning board, which then referred back recommendations to us, which we then noted would go to the EDC. The EDC did meet Economic Development Committee, and with that, considered a lot of the planning board's recommendations. A number of those we felt should be adopted and put into the plan, so I think the cleaner way to do it, and what we are recommending, I know through the EDC support with one of my colleagues is sitting right here, that this is withdrawn, and you will all see on your agenda, we have a reintroduction of a new one, because rather than trying to amend a million pieces in here, we felt it was clear to withdraw this one as it is and introduce in just a moment a new one that'll incorporate all those changes that we incorporated, and then the body and the public has the full time again until the next hearing to review. So I recommend and move that we withdraw this at this time.
Second.
So I just want to make sure we're procedurally, Mr. Karasik?
I'm sorry. Yes, I mean, the council can certainly, if they vote to withdraw an ordinance, you can withdraw it, and that's appropriate. The public hearing, since the ordinance has been taken away, there's no need for a public hearing. Some members of the public might have come, but it's perfectly legal to do it the way that Deputy Mayor Spiller suggested.
Okay. There's been a motion to withdraw this ordinance, and it's been seconded.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion on that? Roll call.
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now we have an ordinance approving an amendment to the Haynes redevelopment plan under new business.
I so move, Mayor, and as I just mentioned before, this is the introduction of the newly modified plan with many of the planning board's recommendations and other modifications.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor, I've just been looking at the version of the plan that was submitted with this ordinance. And although there have been changes recommended, and you have a memo recommending the changes, those changes need to be incorporated. There are only a few of them, and I can read them out, but they need to be incorporated in the ordinance that you have in front of you before you should vote on it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my voice a little.
I have this. I'm familiar. Are you going to do that now?
Well, I think that would be the appropriate thing if we're going to move on this.
Committee?
Yeah, we're in agreement, so.
We're fine.
On page, let me get it. I want to be able to reference it so that the record can reflect it correctly. On page 11, noting bulk standards. I apologize, okay. The minimum side and rear yard setbacks, number 5, under bulk standards, it says 0 feet. Actually, the recommendation is that the rear setback be a 5-foot minimum, the west side setback a 20-foot minimum, and the east side setback a 5-foot minimum.
Where are we?
I'm at page 11, under bulk standards.
I'm looking at page 11 on B. It says Haynes redevelopment plan, page 2.
I agree. If you go to the memo, on page 2, I think it does a nice
Oh, I
job of
wasn't looking at the
summarizing.
memo.
I know you're not, but just saying, if he's trying to follow what it is that being recommended, if you see page 2, where it's highlighted recommendation,
Page 9
recommendation,
in the-
recommendation,
okay.
and then he's just trying to locate it.
Thank you.
Page 9.
Yeah, okay, now I got it.
Okay. And the second change is on number 6, no, not 6, I'm sorry, 7, a step back of at least 8 feet shall be provided after the 4th story. That stays, but after that, on the second floor and above, on the east side, a 30-foot setback for a minimum of at least 50% of the minimum of 50% of the length of the building on the east side.
That's
the change.
a huge setback.
That's correct. It reflects the plan that they've been looking at.
Oh, okay.
And the last proposed change is to require all the mechanicals to be enclosed, hidden from view, and included on the proposed sixth-floor roof plan. That's added to number 8.
I believe that's incorrect, the 5th floor rooftop, not the 6th floor.
On the roof of the 5th floor, so
Correct.
that would be, in essence, a half a floor, I guess.
Right.
I
I
wanna
think
make
that's
sure.
what,
So
that's
6
what the
instead of
architect.
5, it's 5.
You're absolutely right.
So those are the proposed changes. Oh, yes, one more was the, with respect to the LEED certification on the building, the current plan calls for a 40 points basic certification. And as I understood the recommendation, we recommend that the building meet the requirements of silver certification, 50 points, but not have to achieve, doesn't have to go through the process of getting silver certification. That was the committee's decision, right? Anyway, those are the changes that are being added to this ordinance.
And those are fine with the committee?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and just in case there was other things that were misspoken, like the floor heights, I believe it is all in this document, which you're reintroducing as a new document, so that this document is the guiding document for the record. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Thank you. Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Mr. Mayor, just if I could for a second, I get my material from the Dropbox, not to hard copies, so I don't have a copy of the recent one. Mr. Stafford just confirmed that. So I'm going to abstain on the vote on this because I don't have the documents, quite frankly.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a bond ordinance of the Township of Montclair in the amount of $4,859,950 for bonds and notes for a school capital improvements. And I so move.
Second.
Just for clarification, this $4.859 million is within our debt reduction plan, and so we're anticipating by the end of 2019, or we'll continue to drop our debt. I'm suspecting, and we'll be in the neighborhood of about 165, I think, by the end of this year, down from 223 when we started in 2012. So that plan assumes this level of spending. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. D is an ordinance to amend Montclair Code, Chapter 249, property vacant and abandoned properties. And I so move.
Second.
Mr. Stafford, do you need any comments you need?
Nothing further to what I said 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Council question? Roll call?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Councilor Slager's not here, right? So, E is an ordinance to amend Montclair Code, 327 to include a multi-way stop intersection at Vleck Street and North Mountain Avenue. And I so move.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Okay.
Mayor, I think it should be noted that item D, having been introduced, will now be sent to the planning board for its
Right.
review, as it was done the last time. And I believe the deadline for response is 45 days.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Staff.
Of course.
Okay, we have quite an extensive consent agenda. Does anyone have any reason to pull any particular item from the consent agenda? Items 1 through 20. Seeing none, I will move the consent agenda.
Second?
Roll call?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Item 21, any volunteers to? Rich,
I'd
go
like
right
to do
ahead.
that, yeah. For 21, and Juliana, I hope you're listening. 21 is a resolution renaming Graz Park. For those who don't know, Graz Park is at the top of Bloomfield Avenue. Has to rename it the Belcsak Graz Park. Hans and Juliana Belcsak have been, it's hard to describe how important they have been to the town of Montclair. I had the joy of traveling to Graz with Juliana, so I'm very very proud of this. So I so move that we rename the Graz Park to Belcsak Graz Park.
Second?
Discussion? Madam Clerk?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Enthusiastic, yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes.
I would just like to thank you for that great idea.
Thank you. Feel better, Juliana.
Yes. 22 is a resolution authorizing appropriation reserve transfers. I so move.
Second?
Discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. And finally, we have the bill list. Somebody like to, Counsel?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the bill list. Whereas invoices against the Township of Montclair in favor of the following persons for the amount set opposite their respective names have been received, duly audited, and found correct. Therefore, be it resolved by the Council of the Township of Montclair and the County of Essex that said invoices be and they are hereby ordered paid, and that checks be drawn by the Finance Department to the order of such persons for the amounts respectively and hereinafter stated on computer printout attached hereto and made a part hereof this January 22nd, 2019, totaling $13,313,942.34, and I so move.
Second.
Questions, discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Baskerville?
Yes.
Counselor Hurlock?
Yes.
Counselor McMahon?
Yes.
Counselor Russo?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Spiller?
Yes.
Mayor Jackson?
Yes. Just comments from the dais, Mr. Graz. Mr. Gilbert. Madam Clerk?
Yes, I just wanted to note the passing of Mark Ehrman, one of our longtime Montclair residents. Mr. Ehrman was a movie executive. He dealt primarily with independent films. He
You're welcome.
produced and worked with several Academy Award motion pictures and actors. I just wanted to do a quote from Tom Hall, who is the director of our own film festival. He said his passion for filmmakers, for our global community of film lovers, was matched only by his kindness and generosity. He will be sorely missed. And I know that his mother-in-law worked tirelessly for our community at the adult school, and his wife, and Deborah Davis is his wife, the author, and his 2 children. So I'd like to express our condolences to the whole family.
Very much involved with the museum. Very much involved with the museum, yes. Indeed. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Stafford?
Thank you, Mayor. 2 points. Our health department has scheduled free rabies clinics for February at various locations and on multiple dates. Information on those can be found on our website, as well as information regarding several Montclair Police Department programs for our young folks, ranging from the MPD Youth Advisory Council, which is a program like I haven't seen in any other municipality across New Jersey. It's something worth looking into for folks that have teenagers, as well as our Police Explorers program and the Junior Police Academy. Information on all of those programs, as well as others, are available on our website.
Council?
Mayor, I'd just like to say that Councilor Baskerville and I came here right after going to the shutdown social, is what it was called, for the federal employees. Now, I know you're all aware of the young lady from Montclair who works for the EPA, Environmental Protection. She called us and asked us to help, and we were able to get Ann Mernon, who I want to give a shout-out to, from Tony's Kitchen, to host this. So there were about 100 people there. Renee and I spent she spent 2 hours, I spent a half hour. The thing is that we helped them get a place, and they really felt thankful that Ann Mernon came through when I called her and asked her. Tony's Kitchen hosted all these employees who are still shut out after a month. And Tom Giblin had just arrived, our assemblyman, so he's been supportive of them. A lot of the unions are trying to help these folks. They're all members of the American Government Employees Union, National Union, and we're just praying and hoping that this can end, because I've never seen anything like this. I want to tell you how enthused they were to have so much food donated. There were so many groups in town. Even Brookdale ShopRite came across, but they've got all kinds of food there. They're trying to, get it to people, and they had a tremendous spirit of them all being camaraderie together. They're doing this all over the country. And I just want to commend, again, Ann Mernon for what she did, Tony's Kitchen for hosting it, our local resident, a young woman who's an employee, federal employee, Carson Matta. Thank Councilor Baskerville for going over, for all of you on the council for helping out, and Tom Giblin for being present too tonight. It was really in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King, who we celebrated yesterday. It was really good to see us host a social for the people who are shut out of work. And I'm just praying, I don't want to be critical of anybody, just praying that everybody gets together and gets this thing over with so people can go back to work in the federal government. I'm wearing a pin tonight, Mayor, which is not Dr. King. It's an old pin I had. It's Nonviolence is Our Strength with Cesar Chavez. It's a pin I got from the farm workers when I went to one of their strikes years ago. And I keep thinking that we got to keep people from hurting each other. No violence, protest, yes, and try to get things resolved by not doing it in a harmful way. So let's, in the spirit of Dr. King and Cesar Chavez, nonviolent action to get something done to protect our country. Thank you.
Mayor, briefly, I'll just say it was great to also see all my colleagues yesterday at the Martin Luther King Scholarship breakfast. And really, as we heard those young students speak, I think they did a wonderful job. And if they're listening tonight, really powerful and dynamic young men. So we thank them and congratulate them. I also want to just say it was very heartening for me to receive, and I know Mr. Stafford helped with this because I forwarded a few to him, but I had a number of residents email me asking me what they could do as a day of service before yesterday as the official holiday, and that was great. Mr. Stafford, thank you for helping me compile an extensive list. But it was really nice to see members of the community reaching out, saying, how can we help, what can we do? And we're able to put out some information and connect them to areas they can help those in need and give service to this great community. So I want to thank all those who did reach out and say it was really inspiring to see, and just thank everybody for engaging in some type of service yesterday as well. So thank you.
Yes, I'd just like to echo what Councilman Russo said about the wonderful opportunity to serve this evening at the program that Carson and Ann Mernon and everyone in the community came together to offer the families that are affected by the federal freeze a place to come, have a meal. They had bags for them to go shopping. Community is just amazing, and I think that not just tonight, but so many nights, I'm just grateful to be a part of this community because it is, it never stops to amaze me the number of people that give. All of the restaurants along Bloomfield Avenue donated gluten-free chicken, and Montclair Community Farms had fresh vegetables and the salad right out of the ground. It's amazing, and there was so much food there that people were able to take some home. The turnout for the actual federal employees was not what was expected. I think originally we were thinking there'd be around 70 or so people, and probably about maybe 30 to 35 individuals came that were just coming because they were affected by the federal freeze. But what's most...
Great, that's a good number.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. But what's most important to me is that this wasn't something new for Ann Mernon and Tony's Kitchen and for so many here. The work that people like Robin Woods does with the Salvation Army and all of the other groups, and I'm truly grateful to be a part of this community because it's not like we had to scramble around and say, okay, there's a federal freeze and we want to help people. Many people do this nonstop, day in and day out. I think Ann Mernon has been providing services at Tony's Kitchen for 7+ years, and so I just want to thank the community and let everybody know that I'm truly grateful to be a part of this community. Today, January 22nd, is the day of my birth, and there's no place else that I would rather be to celebrate it than continuing my commitment to service to people that are going through difficult times, people that are in situations where they're finding themselves to have least among us, and just to do what we do. And I thank this council and other councils that have provided resources and opportunities for people to continue to serve one another and help wherever we can. So, yeah, grateful to be a part of this community. The other thing that I'd like to say is that on the 29th of January, which is next Tuesday, at 7 p.m., I will be hosting the 4th Ward Community Meeting in the First Montclair House. That's the senior citizen facility that's located in the parking lot behind the Grove Pharmacy. All are welcome to attend. We're going to have the discussion will be open for whatever people choose to discuss, but we're going to primarily focus on parking in that area, the parking lot, traffic in that area. I know a lot of the seniors had questions and concerns about that, so we'd like to invite people to come out and to share with us. And I'd like to thank the First Montclair House for opening up their residents to us to provide this opportunity. I'm going to try to move to different locations just to make sure that we are doing all that we can to provide people an opportunity to join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members?
Yeah, I just like, hearkening back, I've been thinking about Juliana more. Just like to let everybody know what, just if you didn't know Juliana, don't know Juliana, she's such an has such an extraordinary story coming from Graz and World War and all that. It's unbelievable. It's worthy of a book, and she's a force of nature of getting things done. And as someone who really gives to the community, and I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was your idea to name the park after her, and I think that was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any noise? I do this two things for me. One is, I really wanted to commend our Department of Community Services workers. All the 2 days has been incredibly cold, and they've been out doing their jobs and getting our recycling and getting our garbage picked up under really harsh conditions. I just wanted to publicly say thank you to them for their hard work, and because it was really, really tough duty. I was cold just taking mine from from the garage to this curb.
Right.
It was brutal, and but they do their thing, and kudos to Mr. Brandon and Mr. Wood and the entire team of the guys for always doing a great job. The other thing I want to say, which I tend to not do because I try to keep up the local stuff from the national. We are very fortunate. We have two great Congress people, Congressman Payne Jr. and Mikey Sherrill representing. But I wanted to really take a moment to recognize our junior congressperson for two things. One is for her vote with respect to the speakership. And this has nothing to do with whether you like the Speaker Pelosi or you don't. It has nothing to do with that. She made a promise to vote the way she voted, and she stuck with it. And I think she's to be commended for that. That's an unusual thing in politics today, for sticking with your word. And I thought that was important. And the other thing is that I think she was the first one to say, I'm not going to take my paycheck until other people are not, until our other workers are not getting paid. And I just thought that was great leadership. And we just wanted to take a moment to say that I'm personally, impressed by her stance on those two particular issues. And again, however you stand on the issues, I think a politician standing by the word is to be commended. That's it for me. All right, we're going to go into closed session. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, permits exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and where we believe that those circumstances exist, now therefore be resolved by the council as follows: the public will be excluded from discussions of and act on hereinafter specified subject matters which are personnel. The resolution shall take effect immediately. I so move. All in favor? Aye.